Alright, so back in the garage playing with the truck and working on hydro assist steering setup.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story.
So I cut these little brackets out of some 1/4-inch plate that I had here, and working on trying to fit the hydraulic ram. It's going to bolt onto that tab there off the track bar bracket, extending towards the connecting to the tie rod on the driver's side or center of the front axle. So I'm putzing around with that. I did get the upper shock mounts in for the front axle, which are right behind me actually. So I just ended up ordering kind of the Ford Super Duty mount that a lot of people use. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want it connected and solid. These are heavy duty, plenty solid. I may have to kind of cut and fit them to the frame to fit my application, but that's been the whole project. So just playing with the shock mounting. So that's obviously full bump. We've got that thing maxed out, and the shock still has a tiny bit of shaft showing there, which is what you want. It is a little close up here, but the shock still moves freely in there. It's not like it's bound up or anything, so I think we're good. We're just gonna look and see if we can change that a little bit versus when it's all the way down. I don't look close at it, but we're getting there. We're doing things. So while we're testing stuff, flexing stuff, I did get the dead end, I'll call it, of the ram mount done for the hydro assist, the end that is fixed. And so that's kind of cool. Once we get the shock stuff figured out, then we can steer the thing all the way back and forth, and we'll be able to make a better determination as to where the center line is to hook up the moving port of the ram. But yeah, the shock thing works. So we took that mounting bracket and twisted it slightly, which at full bump gives us more clearance to the shock body, and we also have a daylight gap between the corner here and here, and we still are maintaining, even at full bump, our little bit of shock shaft at the bottom, which is awesome. So we're not going to be bottoming out the shock itself, and we'll end up having to get some limit straps to make sure we're not using the shock as the limit strap when the suspension goes to full droop. So, but things are working out. Keep moving forward and see if we can maybe get this shock mount tacked in on the other side. We're just testing some clearances here, and Chris is cycling the steering, and we're just looking. And I knew things were going to be close, and they are close. As that tie rod drag link passes past that track bar bracket, but everything clears. We are in the good. Oh, this is pretty exciting stuff. I am super geeked. All right, so we got this shock mount tacked into place, and we're messing around. For some reason, I don't remember this drag link touching the frame when it was at full bump, but for some reason now it is. So, not sure what I'm gonna do. So this is the sound of good friends. So Chris is working on the rear axle, went through the bearings and wheel seals at the hubs, and is putting the axle shafts in the back. I have been working on the frame, so we notched for the drag link, welded that in, and then welded a piece of 1/4-inch plate along the top to add support, because the frame is now only 3 inches tall in that area, per Chris's recommendation. Ben is working on brake stuff, so he is working on plumbing in the all the brake lines, and he has the clutch fluid reservoir there that he's working on bracketing that for. These guys are here. We're jamming, and everybody wants to see the result, which is this thing driving out of here under its own power. So I haven't been videoing a lot because when help is here, you got to take advantage of it and get things done. But Ben is running brake lines. Chris has kind of inspected calipers, determined that all the core calipers I bought are just that. They're cores. We're going to have to swap them out for new ones. But we can at least locate where our lines, hard lines need to run to and that kind of thing. So we're going to try and continue moving forward on that. You can see that I got the frame notch done on this side for the drag link. I welded the 1/4 inch plate along the top on the inside outside, try and add some extra support to that frame member after I notched it. Kind of cleaned stuff up and just painted this side. Haven't done the other side yet because Ben's working on brake lines over there. But now Chris and I are putting the alignment plates on from Off-Road Anonymous here. We're just going to double check that our toe in is set where we want it, which is about 1/8 of an inch towed in. And then we are going to crank the steering all the way right and all the way left, mark it, and then find center so that we can get our hydraulic assist steering ram hooked up to the tie rod. So just plugging away. And man, really appreciate these guys' help. I would not be this far without them. It's going good.
Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up.
Now that's a load of calipers. This is where things got expensive.
So I'm trying to help out my buddy Turbo here, getting some stuff done on his truck. Well, I'm mostly just watching, but he's too busy actually doing things to record. So I'm gonna help him out, get some recording here for him. So right now he's reflaring a short piece that we diagnosed. We, as in somebody else, diagnosed a failed flare fitting for the Master. They were able to get the front brakes bled, these monsters, but if we look up here, this little proportioning valve here, the flare was cracked going into there. So we couldn't pull a vacuum to suck the fluid down to the rear calipers. So hopefully, just fixing that flare, redoing it, we'll be able to get that done and have solid brakes all the way around. The fronts are mostly bled. I'm sure we'll have to do some fine tuning with it. But the backs, nothing yet. So we got to get that piece done. Otherwise, you can't mix air and brake fluid. You got to have solid brake fluid. So, and you remember to put the nut on first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Always remember to put your nut on the pipe you're working on before you flare it.
Yeah. I've only done it 3 times on this project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like flare it. Super nice flare. Super nice flare. Super nice flare. No nut.
So, all right. I'll let you know how this goes, and we'll put this video together for you so it looks like it's semi-professional.
We just bench bled the master cylinder, so to speak, while it's in place, but trying to get all the air out of the master, and then we'll move on to working the fluid down to the wheels and see if we can get some brakes in this thing today. If we can get brakes in it, we can put tires on it. We might even get to like move it under its own power.
So at what point in your life did making sure the vehicle stopped come as a priority before making it go?
I don't know.
That was never a concern back
That
in the
never
day.
used to be a concern. But I guess you get older and wiser, I guess they say.
I think it's just your fear of imminent death, your sense of mortality.
Yeah. I think you gain that when you become a dad. Before I had kids, I didn't care. But now you got like, people that like depend on you and stuff. Should probably do responsible things.
right, we'll get that buttoned up and then we'll try to bleed the back. All right, brakes mostly bled, we think. Now, changing out caliper bolts.
Just putting the other caliper bolts in. We were short two. They had to order them in. They just came in. So we're putting the last of the caliper bolts on. Now we got to go through. We're going to clean everything real good. Double check, make sure we don't have any brake fluid leaks. And then
Gear lube.
Gear lube in the diffs.
Need diff fluid.
Double check all of our nuts and bolts, and then maybe bolt some wheels on it.
Yep, and we have the Bluetooth front axle.
Yeah, we got standard SEMA protocol Bluetooth front drive shaft.
Yep.
So basically a SEMA build.
It's a SEMA truck. It's a show truck.
I don't. It's probably not far off, actually.
You brought those down.
This is like, this isn't a shop. This is a home garage built.
Yeah.
Solid axle swapped, 1-ton Tacoma. So we got.
In 1 weekend.
I wish. In 7 months. We got a 04 Super Duty front axle with Yukon chromoly 35 spline outer shafts, heavy duty chromoly lockout kit. Has a Barnes 4-wheel drive truss from JK Wrangler. It's supposed to be like a direct bolt-in swap for the Barnes.
That you're talking about all this?
Yeah, that's the Barnes truss. Yukon cast iron heavy duty gear cover with the ARB air locker inside. 513 gears. We got the Barnes 4-wheel drive tie rod steering kit. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Some random air bumps, which need to be charged. They don't have any pressure in them right now. Bilstein 5160 remote reservoir shocks.
Was this a kit though too, going to the 4-link?
So those are Rubicon Express JK long arm arms.
Okay.
And then we got the side-tracked off-road Toyota diff flanges, so you can use Toyota drive shafts, front and rear. So instead of crazy making drive shafts, so literally the rear drive shaft bolted up directly, just utilizing that flange. That 14 bolt rear axle bolted directly to the Tacoma drive shaft.
That is slick.
No modifications, so yeah, pretty cool. So the rear, all kinds of, yeah, the rear axle is 04 Chevy 2500 HD, 14 bolt. It's got a Yukon Grizzly locker in it, 513 gears. It also originally was equipped with the Barnes JK swap truss. We've butchered that and added off-road anonymous U-bolt eliminator brackets.
Oh, nice.
So we're clamping the leaf spring pack as opposed to having U-bolts. They're a little bit longer.
Well, and if you ever have a problem with it, it's a lot easier to replace that.
Way more serviceable.
You go to the any hardware store and get those.
Yeah. So, plus they're longer. It puts more of a pressure load on the pack. So hopefully will help eliminate axle wrap issues. We got a Moto built 13 bolt shaved diff cover on the back. Again, 513 gears. Then off-road anonymous heavy duty 1/4 inch shackles. All kinds of stuff.
What was the leaf spring out of? You said?
The rear leaf springs are also out of the GMC 2500 HD, but we've removed the overload leaf. So.
Okay.
But yeah, they're the 63-inch long swap springs that tons of guys do in the Toyotas to get more travel, a little better ride. But I went with the HD pack with the 4 leaves because this truck's going to be like an overland build. We're going to have some weight in the back all the time. So I went this as opposed to the 3-leaf spring that I have on stopper, anticipating that extra load. So.
All right, let's do the diff fluid, get the wheels on us, and see what happens. We'll be right back. Brakes work?
Brakes feel good. You had some engine smoke, but probably oils.
like the first drive, just taking it around the block. We got all the lights are on, like everything's flashing and blinking, but I mean, it drives good, it stops good. We got some work to do. I'm hoping that the hydro assist steering will help with it's a little twitchy, but that might be due to the high center of gravity and the short wheelbase. I don't know, but we definitely got a few little kinks to work through, but all in all, it's pretty awesome. So pumped. All right, guys, I am so stoked. It starts and runs and drives and does the things. It's awesome. I'm super excited. So we do have some kinks to work through. The Rubicon Express lower arms that I picked up were used, and the joint in the front lower link on the passenger side has some play in it at the axle end. So we're going to get that rebuilt, hopefully, to tighten that up. And then, yeah, I think we got hopefully that hydro assist clamp will show up. The clamp that I have for the tie rod is too big, so we're going to get the right clamp here, and we'll get that hydro assist dialed in. In the meantime, I got to work through the kinks of all the lights on the dash, which may just be pulling some bulbs, honestly, because I deleted the whole ABS module. So I got like a brake light on and an ABS module light on, and the four-wheel drive lights are all flashing because obviously we don't have any of that stuff hooked up anymore. So I would like to try and wire it so the four-wheel drive light and the high-low range light do still work. I'm hoping to do that, but currently that's low on the priority list. But yeah, this thing is a beast. Super geeked, super geeked. So I really appreciate everybody's help. Came down and helped me out and figuring things out. I am so excited.